I'm Max Damage, and I'm here with the most well-balanced aggro deck in Standard Magic today. This is my archetype on Dimir Aggro. This deck gains on heavy card advantage with Gix, Yawgmoth Praetor, and wins on tight margins with Deep Cavern Bat and early game interaction. Stay tuned to see how this deck evolved in this last month of play. Dimir Aggro is a tempo-based creature deck sporting low-cost, high-value creatures and small ways to counter or disrupt your opponent to become just enough in a meta of tight margins and mid-range decks. This first iteration of this list is up on the screen now. Began with this on January 5th. I'll let past Max explain the logic and shifts from this first iteration. So, I think after some serious consideration, looking at everybody's list in the Rebellion, looking at what's been top 8ing, here's what I came up with as a compromise between a lot of different playstyles in Dimir right now. There's a lot of good cards in this color pair. I'm sorry, Preacher of the Schism, Sean's Tidebinder. You want to go into Gix with some strong 1-drops, but also some 2-drops. You want to include Schooner, but maybe not too much. You want to have the full set of Bat. I mean, there's so many choices to make. Mastermind is a good hedge of your bet against Bat decks. 3-Sheldred or 2-Sheldred? Do you top off with Aclazotz? Do you bother with any Planeswalkers? There's so many questions to answer when it comes to this archetype. So here's my answer. You know, a little bit of everything. We're missing the 3-drop Kaido. I went with the 4-drop Kaido. We went down to 2-Sheldred to do that. But we went up to 1 5-drop to do that. So the other thing is, we had to think about graveyard destruction. So, Lord Skitter in the main board or Lord Skitter in the sideboard? Decide on the sideboard. You're making me think twice, though, because, right, if I'm only going with 4 1-drops, do we want to go 3 in on Gix? Even though we're playing only dual colors, not 3 colors, it's not Esper. So many questions to answer. Alright, so let's take a look at how we do in this gameplay footage from January 5th. Start with the Spyglass Siren, of course. Classic play, classic curve. We go with the Deep Cavern Bat. Noticing our opponent has Dimir colors. Turn out to be an Esper Mentor opponent. Esper Mentor, one of those decks that's come up in recent weeks. Really filled the niche where Mono Blue used to be. Alright, take away Recommission. Take away the Djinn. We're trying our best with Dreams of Steel and Oil. This is why Dreams of Steel and Oil is important. There's so many decks that are just based on reanimation tactics, graveyard tactics. Using the Picklock Prankster to mill themselves, come up with spells, possibly recommission, possibly, you know, mill a blue Djinn. Body Djinn, that is. So they do manage to recommission a Mentor. Picklock Prankster spell allows them to create a 1/1 with that Mentor. We do have a Preacher of the Schism out on the board, so they don't have any favorable attacks coming in at all. It's not that turn. Army starts to build a little bit here. We begin to chip away at it. Preacher of the Schism just creates really good board states for you. 4 toughness, death touch creature, right? Advantage when you attack in with it. Love death touch creatures, but death touch creatures with payoffs for attacking and being able to successfully attack are huge. Return the bat. Gonna allow them to recommission. But I suspect here they have a Haughty Djinn. Swing in, like it's looking pretty bad. Right. We take another Haughty Djinn from their hand. Oh, Preacher. Go ahead and play it. See, it creates a wonderful board counterweight to that 9/5. When you have chump blockers anyway. Alright, attack with the double Preacher. We draw another Preacher. Right, we have chump blockers. A couple of them. Fairy Mastermind and Spyglass Siren. So against an evasive, aggressive deck, we still have a solution here with this one. Well, I love this deck so far. 3 Preachers on the board. Gotta have the Preachers. But you'll see later, the latest iteration of the deck has 4 of them. Alright. Really bringing Kaido here with 2 open mana. Yep, we lock down the 9/5. This is where Kaido really shows his quality. 4-drop Kaido is no joke. Our opponent's on Halo Forger. Trying to dig something up. What do we do here? We casualty one of the Preachers. We don't want them to bring anything back. We especially don't want them to have that body on the board. I think Kaito's still alive after this play. We just can't put him away. We keep +1ing the 9/5 threat. We still have those 2 Fairy Masterminds we can bring in if we choose. We cut down one of the fairies. Starting to become lethal for them. We do return a Preacher to draw an extra card, play that Preacher back down. I think we +1 here. Nope, we -2 to get a 2/2 Death Touch out there. Okay, I get a Haughty Djinn. What happens now? 2 big boys on their field. We use Gix. Gix's ability is insane. Everybody forgets that it exists, right? Do it for 5. Oh, cut down. The Mentor. Otherworldly Gaze. Go for the Throats, rising to the top of the library. This is an epic moment right here. I love doing these format videos because now I get to relive these moments with you guys. And I get to actually focus and talk about it. And pick up on things I might have missed while actually streaming this. When you're streaming, you're not really focused on giving good commentary or analysis or talking about what's going on. Not as much anyway. Unless you're like super pro elite streamer, then yeah, some of them can, just kind of like focus on what's going on while streaming. But that's hard for me. This format helps me out quite a bit. Alright. An attack with a double Preacher. It's a must block situation. Right? Got them down to 1. Wasn't enough. We had to concede. Wasn't enough. And I'm not sure that I could have played that one any different. Bring in the Anoint. We bring in the Lord Skitters because it is a reanimate deck. We cut out the Schooners. Cut out the Aclazots. Down 1 Fairy Mastermind. Okay, start again with the Siren. So many games start with the Siren. Rest hits nothing at all. And we draw a Make Disappear, which is pretty sneaky. Sneaky deck. Okay, Spyglass Siren goes in for 1. Slow start for our opponent. Turn 3. We hold up for Tidebinder or play Gix? I bet we play Gix here. Nope. We hold up for Make Disappear. Lock down our next land. There goes our opponent. Playing stuff like Consider. 4 mana. Attack first. Cut down gets our Spyglass Siren. Oh, Halo Forger. Might be a unique chance to just... We can either cancel what they're doing or Make Disappear. And I think we Make Disappear right here. Yep. Sheldred with a Restless Reef. Beautiful turn 5. Force their removal. They do have a Bitter Triumph. Alright, turn 6 we go Gix. We hold up for a Tidebinder. Ooh, Dreams of Steel and Oil on us, our opponent. Learn from us. It's actually a pretty good card. Very underplayed card. I'm always going to sing the praises of Dreams of Steel and Oil, y'all. I cannot help it. That card has saved my hide so many times. Alright. Restless Reef coming to action. Ooh, Otawara on our Gix, so we don't get to draw. And our opponent gives up. Alright, let's go to game 3. Up on Duress. Remove Virtue of Persistence. I think I cut that card from the deck altogether. And then we go down to 2 Gix. So we're playing defensively. That used to be my thinking. Nowadays, I may not always do that. I gotta say nowadays, like that wasn't 2 weeks ago. We learned so much, though. I've been learning so much in Magic and exponential raid, so, you know. Counter the adventure cards. It's definitely something I learned. Counter the first side if you can. Get rid of the back side. Alright, gotta get rid of the removal with the Deep Cavern Bat. You always have to get rid of the removal. We go ahead and we play the Dreams of Steel and Oil so they can't revive the Picklock Prankster. And we want to use up all our mana. Gix. Swing with the bat, we draw Duress. Uh-oh, Monastery Mentor. We play the Preacher here. Yep. We draw a Siren. Draw a Haughty Djinn. We go for 5 mana. Duress on their Bitter Triumph. Play Sheldred. Attack with the Preacher. Alright, they kill their Djinn. Looks like they're going to revive it. Yep. And create a giant board state with the double Monastery Mentor. Kill one of the Mentors. Bat comes in and take the other helping hand. Siren comes out. We go wide. We have 1 mana for the map token if we wish. And we attack with the Preacher, the Sheldred, and the Bat. Double Gix payoffs. Here we go. We hold up, make disappear. No, we play. Yep. Play Dreams of Steel and Oil. Make sure they can't reanimate. 25 to 11. That's looking good for us. So much value packed into, you know, a few turns, right? Like, that's what I love about this deck, is it hits hard and fast. And we win. Max damage. Alright, so this is where we were starting out the season in Platinum Tier 4. Moving up in the ranks. You'll see in these format videos, because I tend to keep them the last month of gameplay, that you'll see me rise up towards Mythic. Not always with the deck that you're seeing me, because there are multiple decks I run in a month. So, you know, some of these games in between are with other decks that you'll see in other videos. Stick around. That's another reason to subscribe to the channel. Alright, Siren and Schooner is how we begin this game. Into Preacher. Preacher Cruise Schooner. Get our 4th land for Sheldred, which is awesome. Or a Dreams of Steel and Oil Tishana's Tidebinder play. Either way. Love to be flexible and think that way. See what happens. Playing against Rakdos. Expect it's Rakdos mid-range? I don't remember. I don't review these before I edit them together. I just, you know, throw the videos together that got the wins, that got the records for the month, and analyze them almost live for you. Like, this is not pre-scripted. I'm watching the match almost anew for the 2nd time. Alright, so we get rid of Geological Appraiser here. I understand the choice. We don't want them to get super value off that card. We want to stay neutral and board. They play Preacher. Alright, so we'll take the 3 from Blood Tithe Harvester. I think yeah. What we do here, we probably go for the Throat, Preserve Tidebinder. Through the Schooner with the Siren. Another Siren on top, no thanks. We need more power than that on the field. Alright, what do we do here? We hold. Hope we hold. Alright, they cash in the Blood token. It's definitely that Reanimator Rakdos mid-range. We'll cover that deck as well, or at least a version of that deck. There's the Reanimator card, Cruelty of Gix. They go for the straight reanimation. We cancel that. I love Nick. That's one of my favorite Tidebinder plays right there. Is nixing a Saga on phase 3. All right, Schooner with the Tidebinder, swing in, cut down on top. Gotta love it, gotta love it. Boom, boom. They're down to 4. We play the Sheldred, and might as well bump something up here while we know something's usable on top. All right, and that's that for game 1 against Mr. Dandy. All right, taking a look at the field, we're bringing Duresses up to 3 copies now. Lord Skitter for the graveyard gameplay. We reduced Fairy Mastermind to nil. Reduce Schooner to nil. Reduce Aquazots to nil. Bring in, let's see, we have second Sheldred. Double Disdainful Stroke, and we go down to 1 Tidebinder. I guess we want to counter the 4-drop and above plays, right? Ooh, we keep this Treacherous Hand. Probably should have mulliganed that one. Let's see if it pays off for us. The Flood game plan over here. Just needing flood insurance. Bad. Make us discard our only playable card. Oh, man. Such terrible luck right here, right? Alright, Liliana the Veil comes down for the opponent. I have no problem discarding cards. Got plenty of cards to discard. Opponent thinking twice about having done that, I'm sure. Siren comes down. Another land. Oh my god. Another land off the top. Flood City over here. We are Venice right now. Discard a card. Yep. Takenuma, full on. A raw Takenuma. Let's go. We choose Lord Skitter. Lord Skitter, I choose you. Skitter kind of looks like Eradicate from Pokemon. Oh god. Okay, here comes another Spyglass Siren. Use the map token right away. We want to get the lands out of the deck. It's flooding is bad. We want to get the dam going. Alright, so we decided to hold up the Make Disappear. We play Bat. We'll just, you know what, we'll counter the Bat. I don't want you to have that body either. Alright, so that leaves us with Lord Skitter in hand. And now a Tidebinder. We have mana to play both. So we play Lord Skitter. Play the tap land. Exile the Deep Cavern Bat. And we're ahead on board. Oh, Carnosaur. No, we're going to counter that. Get that out of here. And that's like countering the spell altogether, right? Just like with adventure cards, that doesn't get to do its main board thing. Especially with, what I mean is with Lord Skitter on the field. Exiling it right there after that. Okay. Mirax. We're going to just start pumping the board state. Casualtying these tokens. In this case, a rat token. Make sure they don't get anything. Shut them out of the game altogether. That's why I like a Dimir that has counter spells. You know, that's beefy. It isn't just like trying to win on margins, which is good sometimes. That's good enough in a lot of these mid-range matchups, but you have to do more than that in a lot of cases. Like when they play a Sheldred out of nowhere. Oh, we get rid of Carnosaur. And, you know, we hit for 1. I don't know what I'm holding out for here. They just keep coming with the Deep Cavern Bats. That's like 3 in a row, isn't it? Meanwhile, all we have is Spyglass Siren. Oh, I gotta get rid of Make Disappear. It's not doing us any favors. Yeah, might as well. Really? Alright, so they trade a bat. We gotta make it somehow. There's our very own Sheldred. Alright. Now we can do stuff. Theological Appraiser. Oh no, into a Preacher of the Schism. And we don't draw big here at all. Not looking too good. Obviously we activate Mirrors here. Okay. Hacking in. Big bads. We have nothing in hand. We take it. Go down to 6. Oh! Clutch, go for the throat, right? Let's go. Now this is where turnabout is fair play, right? The swing backs. Boom, boom, boom. They're the ones who need to go for the throat. Alright. Ulti. What do they bring back? Assume right here they go to phase 3. Phase 3 sheltered. Get their queen back. Just like in chess, getting your queen back, right? Get that little pond at the end of the board. That's what that is. Another clutch go for the throw. That's 2 in a row. I just swing both. Another clutch sheltered. Like neither of us want to lose. Play Deep Cavern Bat. Reveal their Preacher of the Schism. Do swinging for both. Just those two. Alright. We're obviously going to create a token here as well. Oh, they can't really afford to even go down to 2 in this stalemate situation, right? So they activate the Restless Fence. Maybe try to fix their hand, yep. And draw a card. I mean, it doesn't matter. Both have Sheldreds. Alright, so what do we do here? Can't take it. Queen for queen. Activate the Dimir Aggro. Flood City. Just Flood City over here. We're at our opponent's mercy. Here comes the Restless Fence. Both of them. But my opponent doesn't manually tap their mana, and they lose. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Oh, man. Alright. So. Third set. January 5th. 2 Preachers in the beginning hand. There, and we awkwardly draw the Deep Cavern Bat on turn 3. Still go Preacher here. Oh, Picklock Prankster. What's going on with this deck? Is it Esper Mentor? No. There's some other kind of color in it. What are we playing against here? It's like Graveyard Shenanigans. When you see Otherworldly Gaze, a lot of times it's a Reanimator list. They are milling themselves heavy. There it is. Squirming Emergence. They want to get Atraxa back. The heavy self-mill game plan here. I don't know what we're going to do. Ovada brings in Portal. We have to give up. That is ranted how we lost right there. in like a minute flat, almost, it seems. Alright, so we're definitely bringing in the Tidebinders, the Lord Skitters, the Negates, copies of Negate. Dreams Still in Oil doesn't hit anything. They're using Founding of the Third Path to start the mill. Then they're able to play Squirming Emergence from their graveyard straight up to reanimate something else. We use Dreams of Steel and Oil to get rid of some of the stuff in their graveyard, exile it away. And here we get rid of the Tyrannix Rex. They're forced to just keep self-milling with their free spells as well. Alright, Lord Skitter. Doing its thing, getting rid of Atraxa. Hell yeah, love to see it. We still have a lot more targets to get rid of. Alright, here comes Gix. Let's get some card advantage while we can. Get rid of a Tyrannix Rex. Hell yeah, love it, love it, love it. Cut down on our token. We still hit for 3. We get a Gix trigger. Raw badly needed mana. Gotta have Go for the Throat also, just in case they do successfully reanimate. Alright, Prankster. Rest into nothing. Skitter gets rid of the Descend creature. Big hits, big draws. Play Sheldred. Pressure on. Alright, they're looking to reanimate something large. I don't think they have anything left. And that's it. My opponent gives up. Alright, we get a game 3. Okay. Opening up with the tap land. Deep Cavern Bat. Love to see it. Turn 2. Ooh. We're going to get rid of their Reanimator target. I'm really forced the removal in a deck that doesn't have a whole lot of removal, I'm betting. Alright. Lord Skitter, but we don't want them to just remove it. We put out the Preacher first. It's very easily going wide. You can also get rid of Otherworldly Gaze in this situation. They don't keep self-milling. Have a Tyrannix Rex. That's it. And so there you have it. We started out January 5th with a 3-0. Gotta love it, gotta love it. Alright, so in this little transition here, this is January 13th gameplay. We begin with a few adjustments. The adjustments that you're seeing here sped up is that we move up to 25 mana from 24. I think it's just necessary for the deck, especially wanting to curve out at the 5-drop slot with Aclazotz. We also go down to 2 Furry Masterminds to 3. The Bant / Domain game plan of Up the Beanstalk really hasn't shown up as much on ladder as you can tell from the last few matches. So we go down 1 on that, even though it's still a good counter against an attacking Deep Cavern Bat. 3x cut down. We go up 1 on that because Deep Cavern Bat, as much as I argue against it and you see me argue against it, I still think that you need 3 cut down in a Deep Cavern Bat meta. So that's how we do here for these adjustments pre 3 matches or 3 sets with Dimir on January 13th. Let's go ahead and go through the gameplay. Alright, we start first. Decent looking curve, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. We get to hold up a make disappear. We'll counter their ambitious farmhand, or no? No, we let it happen. Kill the ambitious farmhand instead. Alright, we go for Preacher. Turn 3, our opponent kills the Preacher. Places it with a 1/1 human token. Blessed us, we'll go ahead and counter that. I want to prevent the ramp to breach the multiverse. I'm at this point assuming that my opponent is Orzhov control. Alright, lay down arms on the bat to get a lay down arm. Spirited Companion to draw a card. What do I do here? Right? Like, this is just an awkward situation. Have lay down arms. Now they have lay down arms, they can also get rid of Sheldred. And go ahead and counter that wedding announcement. Then the choice is, do you play Tashawn's Tidebiter with that mana there? And I choose not to. Okay, Eternal Wanderer. Right here, that's a huge mistake right there. Right there is the moment you play Tashawn's Tidebinder. And we didn't do it. Huge mental mistake right there. You can counter Planeswalker abilities and essentially shut them off. And had we done that, we would have been in a much better position. As you'll see here. Press. Ugh. When you're looking at that kind of hand, it's like, ugh. What am I gonna do? We do eventually learn our lesson, counter the Eternal Wanderer. Then we get lay down arms. Oh, that doesn't matter. But that does clear the path, we assume. Sheldred? No, because they have a Sunfall. Alright, so we're thinking, you know, we're going to counter the Sunfall. Right? No, because we needed to counter Akaya. It just does not look good here. And, you know, I don't understand why I do what I do here. But, you know, Blood City anyway. Alright. So they end up winning that first match. Mental error means I'm not sure exactly what to sideboard here. I don't think we sideboard anything at all. We probably bring in Duresses, and that's about it. Counter some of the control game plan. Duress their duress. Maybe I shouldn't have kept that on top. Ooh, they kill our Schooner with the Lauren. Need that 5th land for Aclazotz. But we opt for the Deep Cavern Bat instead. Trade? Oh, that's a clutch counter spell right there. Unfall. Do we actually Deep Cavern Bat our way out of here? As we'll find out. All right, we have the mana for Aclazotz. Aclazotz comes down. Evil, which we knew they had. Alright, so they get a storefront. And it's not enough. They give up. Alright, so we go to a game 3. We cut Kaido. Looks like we're going full on duress. Alright, Warlander. Storefront right away. The opponent, Risen Reef for us. Play the farmhand. Play duress on them. Get rid of Wedding Announcement here. Restoration of Aganjo. I think we hold up the Tishana's Tidebinder here. And what we should have done... Well, I don't know. I think that was an okay choice for what we had in hand. God, that Obscura storefront just becomes value for them. Especially in light of like their ability to play Sarah Paragon, Restoration of the Ganjo. Field of Ruin in that deck also works wonders on complicated mana bases as well. Alright, so we use the Tidebinder to get rid of the last phase of Restoration of the Ganjo. But Eternal Wanderer comes in. And essentially eats our lunch in this matchup. Sheldred, they, bounce the Sheldred. Field of Ruin gets rid of Risen Reef. Didn't hold up any kind of like mana for Disdainful Stroke. Sheldred comes back. They depopulate. They immediately establish board state again. Yeah, I don't know. Also right here, why did we play 2 creatures? So you can see, we kind of got flustered, punted the game away. There were some mistakes that we made there, especially towards the end. We come in and we do make some changes here. The changes are basically as follows. We cut a Dreams of Steel and Oil for a Spell Pierce. We also go up to 4 Preachers of the Schism. 1 less Go for the Throat as well. Going just a tad more aggressive. Alright, you face Orzhov Control once and man, it puts you mentally in a tailspin. As you can see here. Changing the deck around 1 matchup. Alright, next opponent, Anakin's dad. We get to go first. And, as we've said a million times tonight, we start with the Spyglass Siren. Alright, double Spyglass Siren. Duress on one of their Virtues of Persistence. They use the other one on one of our Spyglass Sirens, of course. And that doesn't leave them open to use it on Gix, so we get to cash in at least 1 card on Gix here. They do have Molten Collapse for Gix. And then we bring in Sheldred on turn 4. Sheldred beginning to drain the opponent. Paleontologist. I think we can just cut down the Paleontologist here. We start using our map tokens. run them down to 12. 12 becomes 10 at the beginning of the next turn. Oswald Dread Knight comes in. Play the Schooner. Attack. They're forced to draw a card if they want to preserve the Dread Knight, so they go down to 4. Play the Tidebinder because it has flash, and they give up. So we go to sideboarding. Sideboarding, we cut the Tidebinders, add Dreams of Steel and Oil, add Anoint with Affliction, add Lord Skitter, take away Kaito, Alcazotz, and a Gix. Add back a Sheldred, Staple Stroke, cut Fairy Mastermind. Anoint with Affliction is something that perhaps keep in the deck as well. Alright, 1 lander, have to mulligan, go to a 4 lander and send back one of the lands. Classic move. This Reef. Go for the Throat, the Pale and Bolt the Bird, as I always say. Redwood Knight draws them a card. Turn 3, we go Preacher of the Schism. Invasion of Zendikar for our opponent. They ramp up, Big Jund. 2 Spyglass Sirens, Preacher attacks, we draw a Go for the Throat. So we have Go for the Throat, we have Make Disappear. I think right here I should have Make Disappeared Casualtied the Tortoise instead of letting it do its thing. But, no. Hindsight's 2020. Map token on one of the Sirens, Make Disappears on top. We cash in the other one as well. When it goes down to 11, they do get to activate Waken Skyclave. Cast Invasion of Zendikar. Another Paleontologist. God, Preacher just feels so good attacking into anything. Anything except Glissa. When it goes down to 7. Bring in a cottage. Bring in a second cottage. Bring in a Restless Reef. And then I'm puzzled by my opponent's move here. Only send 1 cottage. I don't know. People, let me know in the comments what you think of my opponent's move here. So we decided to take it rather than lose board state. We bring in a Siren. Things are looking kind of strange right now in this matchup. Just got little bodies. But they might be enough. We swing for 4. They cash in a food token, so they really just go down to 6 rather than 3. Alright, opponent swings for the fences with the Invasion of Zendikar. We let him have it. Heirs breach the Multiverse, what they really want to play. So, even with Casualty, we have to use both Make Disappears here. I knew we were saving them up for something. Just didn't know it was that. Alright, opponent gives up. And we got the win just off those plays. So, gotta love that. Alright, next opponent, Dusty Crumbs. So, like always, begin with the Spyglass Siren. Our Deep Cavern Bat gets Make Disappeared. Turn 3, we hold up Tidebinder. We'll play the Spyglass Siren. Cut down on top. Bury that. Put down an exploring creature, makes the map token worthless. Make disappear on our Sheldred play. One. It does nothing. We decided to go ahead and play Kaito. -2, they Tidebinder the Kaito. And so we Tidebinder the Tidebinder. You gotta love a Tidebinder play on a Tidebinder. Let me know in the comments if you've ever gotten to do that. It's just so awesome. Oh man. Alright, so with Kaido, they have one creature on the board. We can start shutting them down, creating 2/2s, and just doing a lot. Basically doing a lot is a good summary of what Kaido does on the field here. So +1, lock down the Tidebinder, play a Siren. And what's great about Siren and Kaito is that you can attack with the Siren, hit, and then easily, at the end of the turn, return the Siren to hand and play it for 1, you know? At the end of the turn again, you have it still on the board. You still have a blocker. You still have the ability to use another ability, perhaps lock down another creature, draw another card. Kaido's really good in a one-on-one situation with just like one creature on the opponent's board. Alright, so we use that 1 mana to activate the other. Hit for 4. Return it to hand, play it, and we get to lock down the Tidebinder again. Alright, but they get the better of us here. Their own Restless Reef. And then they just, you know, don't block with the Tidebinder here. How do we lock down our opponent? Aclazotz comes in. Oh no. You can't counter that. So from here on in, it's downhill. Once Hullbreaker Horror hits with some open mana, capable spells, it's pretty much over. Might convince you that you have a chance, like with this move here, but that doesn't matter. That's over. Hullbreaker Horror is such a good card in these grindy matchups. You don't expect a good late game play from the opponent like that. So they really did their thing here. We're gonna have to overcome an 0-1 deficit, go into sideboarding, thinking about Hullbreaker Horror, and they may even just, you know, side it out. We don't even know. All right, so what do we do here? Got the Spell Pierce. Add Duresses. We go up to 3 Duresses. Got the Fairy Masterminds. Add Dreams of Steel and Oil. A Tidebinder. Oh, the Tidebinder could shut off that ability too. Oh man. Sucks losing to Hullbreaker Horror. Such a gross veteran standard card. You know? Let me know in the comments if you've ever gotten to use Hullbreaker Horror in a control scheme. Alright. We open with Spyglass Siren. Wing. We have Go for Throat. We have Make Disappear. Turn 3. We have Gix. We're going to get our card value out of this. No, we're not. Cut Down says no. Go for the Throat says no. Alright, so we decide Dream Still and Oil our opponent. We get rid of Blade Coil. I haven't seen that card in a minute. Deep Cavern Bat. Went with Affliction to respond. Get to see what's in their hand. It's a lot of stuff we don't like. We'll play Gix. Still have mana for Make Disappear if we wish. They just go for the Throat instead of using the end like I thought they might. Alright. That's fine. Okay, so with 6 mana in hand, feels a little safer to play Sheltered, right? No, not really. They have Disdainful Stroke. What do we do here? How do we get out of this situation? We have the Deep Cavern Bat. Alright, so they decide to cast the End on the Deep Cavern Bat. I could have countered End instead. You know, taking the Disdainful Stroke. I don't know. That probably would have been a better play. Either way, we get the Sheltered down. That's the only difference right now. Oop. You're Preacher of the Schism. Might as well go ahead and activate the Mirrex. Being destroyed by Field of Ruin. Alright, we're bringing in Island. 24 to 11. Ottawar comes in, you know, takes out our Sheltered, puts it back in our hand. The bounce spells. You don't think of them as effective because you don't really get rid of the problem, but you force the opponent to replay it, so you're taking out their mana in the next turn because they have to replay, right? Negate our Duress. Preacher and the Might, tag team duo for the ages. Swing in. More map tokens. Trying to get through my deck, trying to pump things up, trying to end this quickly. Rome hosts Seed Shark. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just destroy that. Force them to spend mana, defending the spell. That's it. Alright, so, game 3. What do we do here? We cut the Kaido. We added 3rd Shelly. Yeah, we did. We also added a Lord Skitter. Ooh, cut down Duress and Gix. How the hell are we going to win with that in the starting hand? And they mulligan down to 5. That's how we get rid of their only playable card. And they give up. So, you know, I guess that's sometimes how it happens. Sometimes that's just how it happens. But, in any event, that's how the games from January the 13th played out. We went 2-1. These are the matches from January 19th. This right here on the screen is the most recent version of the deck. I'm going to go ahead and transition over and let Past Max again go ahead and break down why this deck is in its current iteration. Video out of it soon. The Spice is the 4-drop Kaido. It's angled quite defensively. The Dimir Aggro that you saw in the State of the Meta was very aggressive. This one's a little bit more defensive. It tempos just a little bit more carefully. We've got the one Anoint with Affliction because this is hitting everything right now. Of course, Deep Cavern Bat, 2 Fairy Masterminds. I feel like there's some need for it in the meta. We got our Hand 8 in the 1 Duress, 1 Dream Steel and Oil. Double countdown. I'm not going up to 3. A lot of decks are going to 3 because of the bat. I think that's on purpose. Like, that's what they want you to do. So I'm not going to do that. Spyglass Siren, Spell Pierce, because Spell Pierce is doing wonders. As you saw in the Is It Pirates matchup, several matches where Spell Pierce came in clutch. So let's see. 3 Make Disappears. A lot of decks have 2. We're going to play a little bit more defensively. There's a lot of mid-range out there, and as Dirk pointed out in the State of the Meta, as we talked about, you may want to go up on Make Disappear just a little bit. Sidebinder, one of. We, of course, have 2 more in the sideboard, along with 2 Lord Skitters for the Graveyard Hate that we might need. Path of Peril is our only board wipe. We got a 3rd Sheldred in there in case we need to go aggressive for Mono Red. Cut down for Mono Red as well. just the weenie decks in general. Triple Duress, double Disdainful Stroke for Domain. That's where we're angling our sideboard. Alright. 3 Restless Reefs and a Mirex. I didn't go all in on Restless Reef. Maybe we should. I think that would probably be a good choice. Let's do that. Got one of the swamps. Mirex, probably something we want 2 of. I don't know. Let's do that as well. Island for that. Okay. Dimir Aggro. Let's go. Oh, my opponent's name. Can't say that on air. Alright, anyway, we're back to the gameplay. So let's see how we did on January 19th, which was the most recent broadcast. Alright, open up with the Restless Reef. Enuma. Look for Make Disappear. Decide to counter the Blood Tithe Harvester. Siren. Followed by Deep Cavern Bat. And we're up against the Rakdos mid-range game plan. Getting rid of the Carnosaur. We play Sheldred. Alright, Creature of the Schism. Gonna go toe-to-toe with Sheldred. Geological Appraiser brings in Phyrexian Dragon Engine. Went with Affliction, gets rid of the Dragon Engine, which you definitely want to exile the Dragon Engine. We are playing with a Rakdos that plays that card as well. Creature of the Schism, not afraid to attack into any board state. And we have a go wide strategy going on here. Oh no. Superior board wipe comes in and wipes out our army. They get back their Carnosaur. It's bad news, Bears. So, let's see how we sideboard here. Duresses definitely coming in. We take out the cut downs because it is a big, heavy mid-range game plan. We take out the Kaido. Hidebinder comes in. Take out the 2 Schooners. And of course we bring in Disdainful Stroke. We want to counter those spells that create discover effects. Gotta mulligan the one-landers. Alright, let's see if we can make it through with this hand. Start with the Dark Slick Shores. Alright, Deep Cavern Bat. Takes out their Deep Cavern Bat. Yep. Nope, takes out their Brotherhood's End. Of course, their Deep Cavern Bat's going to take out our Preacher of the Schism. Which... Trade here with us? No, I choose not to. They don't play anything because they know we have the Go for the Throat. We're just kind of at a stalemate right here. Play Mishra, we take out Mishra with the Go for the Throat. Things aren't looking too good. It's just a flood. Ah, you hate to see it. From Sheldred. Mill myself. Rather than mill the opponent and reveal a Dragon Engine, you know what I mean? We want to play our Preacher. And the bat reveals nothing. Nothing for them to take anyway. Dragon Engine whacks us. They play another one. I mean... we do. Play a Sheldred. Back with the Preacher. Ugh. Yeah, just not a great situation. Not much you can do in this situation if you're me. Probably just play smarter. Matching board states, but they're up and they have Dragon Engines that they can refill with. They get to draw. Yeah, this just becomes wild. All right, so we lose the first match. Alright, so we open the next set. Turn 3 coming up here. Up the beanstalk. Can't have that happen. So we're playing against Domain. Oh boy. At least it looks like Domain. Yep, it's Domain. Get rid of the Stomper, which, you know, gets rid of their ramp. Creature with a Restless Reef. Alright, we activate the reef. I wondered what I was going to do here. Know myself. There's Sunfall. Making things complicated. We have Takanuma, so that's why I'm milling myself. Trying to find something. Not looking too good. Opponent in a very strong position here. Yep. No way. They have Kaya in hand. There's no way. Alright, sideboard. We want all our duresses. We want Disdainful Strokes. Take out the Anoint with Affliction. Creature, the Schism goes down to 3. I think we cut the Schooners as well. We gotta cut 3 at this point. Duress goes down to 3. Preacher goes down to 1. No, 2. We cut Fairy Mastermind. Okay. Alright. Let's see how this goes. Spyglass Siren. Opponent said good game already. It makes me want to beat them even more. Right? When somebody throws that out at you. Prematurely, anyway. I don't mind it if they're right. Oh my god, Chimel the Inner Sun. Such a cool card to have in a Domain deck, in my opinion. I have a pet card, though. Recently, I've taken that card out of my Domain list. But this deck is supposed to be one of the best positioned to deal with Domain. So let's see if that's true in this match. How do we overcome the odds? Seems like we have the tools, though. I feel like we do. Alright, leave 3 mana open. Also Dread Knight. Also Dread Knight. Flip side. Seems like they're looking for something. Tidebinder just to have it, because they're down to 7. Need the extra attacker. And that's game. Game 3, let's go. I either leave everything the same, or let's see if I make any adjustments at all. Down 1 schooner. What did I trade that for? Sorry, I wanna see. Down 1 schooner, up 1 Lord Skitter. Okay. Interesting. It's such a perfect curve out. That's really what I love about this list, is that it curves out so well. Spyglass Siren. That very typical curve out there. They get lost on our bat. Interestingly enough, we still get to look at their hand. They have plenty of removal. Which they use. Now they know we have Gix on top. Do I counter this to draw 2 with Gix? That is the question here. Decide to, yes. Kind of screwed if they wipe the board here, but they don't. Send it on Topiary Stomper. Alright, so we play the bat. We get rid of Nissa. Gix triggers like, whoa. Love to see all those Gix triggers. Invasion of Zendikar. They don't spend it on Leyline Binding, interestingly enough, but I think it's because they know they need Invasion of Zendikar for Virtue of Persistence. Three, 5, 7, 9. We don't have it just yet, but with the Reef, we do. Damage. Alright, as you can see, we're in Diamond at this point. I believe our final, I think this is the final match that we have for this month, against Joker Magic. Start with the Siren. Hope nobody's been actually taking shots every time I say that. Alright, Map Token hits on the Siren. Siren strikes for 2. 17. Creature of the Schism comes down. We use our main 2 mana for Fairy Mastermind. Of course, we can go for the Schism Preacher here, and we do. Attack for 4. They're down to 13. Right. We respond with Sheldred. Attacking for 4, they use a cut down on our Fairy Mastermind, so we're left. Oh, and then the Bitter Triumph on the Sheldred. We're left with just the Spyglass Siren 2/2. Go all in on Reef. Come down to 1. Play Glissa, and that's it. Game 2. Bring in Duress. Whoa, a lot of stuff just happened there. So it looks like we went 3 in on Dreams of Still and Oil, 1 in on Duress. Need to cut 6. Went all in on Lord Skitter. Schooner. Cut the Duresses, we cut the Spell Pierce. Cut 2 Preachers. Alright. We assume they're going to play aggressive creature strategy right here. Seemed like that's what they wanted to do. But they go first, but I assume we still start with the Restless Reef. Unless we draw a playable land here. Can't recall. Start with the Reef. It's either Dreams or Siren, of course. Siren first, and then Dreams. Creature Shelter and 2 Sentinels. Oof. Loaded. Get rid of the Sheltered. Let them play the Preacher. Turn 3, play Gix. We get 1 trigger off of it with the Spyglass Siren. Draw our 4th land. I think from here, yeah, we're going to take this. Alright, turn 4. Kaito? No, go for the Throat on the Preacher. Need Cavern Bath. Oh, get rid of Blissa. Oof. Just keep taking the card advantage until they get you with the Virtue of Persistence. Alright, 11 to 19, we're losing. How do we bounce back here if we do? I think you have to start with Kaido, right? -2 on Kaido. Could have attacked with both. Return the Siren to hand. And they still attack with the Sentinel. Didn't expect that. Alright, so we block with the 2/2 Death Touch, and they lose their Sentinel here. +1. I love the +1 ability on Kaido. It's just so effective in these grindy, like, mid-range versus mid-range matchups. You know what I mean? Turn the Siren to hand, +1 something else. The Preacher lands for the opponent. And we draw Go for the Throat. I love it. Alright. Love how these Spyglass Sirens work so well with Kaido as well. -2. Just got to keep the -2s up as well. Just trying to get it done. Shut down what we can in the meantime. I chose to shut down the trample creature there, and I think that was the smart choice, because we can just chump block the 3/4 vigilance. Hey, Beseiju, our token. Oh no, that's not good. Yeah, they're gonna get Kaido here. Sheldred. Perfect time for Sheldred to come down. App token pumps up the bat. We have another bat coming. Take it. They go up to 9, so it's 12 to 9. Oh, they get back their Glissa. I think right here, the name of the game is Chump Blockers. Right? So we employ all 4 Spyglass Sirens. And got the bat for a little bit of life gain. Chump block. Don't let them have that card advantage, you know what I mean? Make them revive the Dread Knights, draw cards to have to bring them back into play eventually. And with Sheldred out, that hurts them. Pump up our evasive creatures. And the 2. It has a draw and it's over. Bam! Max damage, all 9s. Well, that's all the matches that we have from the January season. The final record for this month for Dimir Aggro is 7-2. So now let's go over to the final segment and go over the strengths of the deck. Alright, so this is the current iteration. You can get this on the Aether Hub. Max damage on 9s, you can search for me there. I also have a link in the description to the deck. Current iteration leans into Gix with Siren and Schooner, Mastermind, or Bat, giving you options before landing with Gix and giving you tons of triggers from that. Creature deserves all 4 slots here as it attacks into most board states, as well as gives you your value turn after turn, so long as it sticks around. It's a must-stay threat. If Deep Cavern Bat forces your opponent's early removal as planned, then the 3-drop creatures in this deck really should be easier to stick. So, you know, and that counts for all of them, for Gix and for Preacher, as well as Tidebinder. Tidebinder, speaking of, shores up defenses, so reach for it, especially the 2 copies in the sideboard there. Whenever you're facing Domain or Golgari, where a lot of their creatures will give them value. Lord Skitter can also be swapped out for Graveyard Trespasser if you're seeing more grindy matchups with opponents packing, you know, lots of removal. Skitter, however, is great for going wide and getting lots of triggers. So, you know, balance according to the meta that you're seeing. Graveyard Trespasser is great against the trigger-happy, you know, Rakdos, Golgari, 1-for-1 removal decks. 4-drop Kaido also will help you out quite a bit, stalling, right, the mid-range boards that you're going to face, and helps you stabilize once reinforcements arrive. This version notably keeps its defensive tools from the original iterations that the deck began with, which the deck really began disrupting Esper, disrupting the other mid-range board states, packed with counterspells, early hand hate, early removal, both in the main board and the sideboard. You'll get to see both Duress and Dreams of Steel and Oil hit really well right now in a diverse meta with many types of threats, including creature and artifact-based threats that some of these decks have out here. Lastly, don't forget about the single copy of Aclazotz, a great topper to the deck. This is a must-answer threat. Genuinely, usually hits at a time in the match where you need an icebreaker to break up the match, and that's what it does. Keep in mind the early hand hate with Duress and Dreams will leave your opponent with few cards to remove Aclazotz with or fight back with, and so his ability to punish late game weak hands will then just wreck the opponent. Now, while this deck can hold really great early game interaction, that doesn't come at the cost of low power. That's really the advantage to playing Dimir Aggro. Card advantages mixed with consistent evasive threats make this deck a great competitor. Let me know in the comments what you think of these revisions and the archetype overall, especially as it sits in this meta. Also, be sure to like and subscribe so I know you enjoy this format of gameplay video. And I'll be back next week with more of these, so stay tuned, and until then, let's go for max damage.